Phil, what just happened? I mean, can you tell me about this real quick?
Well, first, even before the battery, let's talk about...
This is trash.
Let's talk about the 15 minutes of trying to make the microphone work.
I don't even know. I would love to talk about it, but without showing somebody, I couldn't describe to them what was wrong.
So
with our microphone.
basically when you have top of the line equipment like we do, it's very complicated.
Well, yeah, it's super complicated.
No, we actually have minimal...
Yeah,
it looks cool, but it's very simple. It's very much beginner friendly. But either way, the microphone has a little snap in.
Well, like where it pops into the console so that we can actually use it.
Yeah, and where it makes the connection. And somehow...
It's probably my dog.
Yeah, we could blame Diesel. That's cool with me.
Came in here and twisted it around on the inside and put it back in.
Yeah. And then, so we thought we weren't going to be able to record, but... I remember that I bought extra cables because I was worried about if the ones that came on it was long enough.
Like 67 feet long, but it works.
But it does the job. Yeah. So, and then we had the GoPro issue because we use GoPros for the cameras. That battery, trash. Mm-hmm. Hey, but you know what? The viewers and listeners will be glad. I'm sure they've been waiting on this moment where we got rid of the backyard barbecue 2000. This is the old... Man, if they could only see. What do you
call
it?
The old Amazon 150. Yeah. This baby's nice. I don't even know how you would describe it. It's like a...
I don't know.
You can't...
It kind of looks like a workbench, honestly.
Yeah, like it doesn't have any drawers. It's not a desk. Because desks have drawers, right?
It kind of looks like a workbench that you would stand at and put like a filing cabinet thing underneath it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but it is kind of tall, or maybe our chairs are just short. I'm not sure.
I think either way, perfect.
It looks very nice. If anybody was to see our studio, they'd be impressed.
Look at Phil's new backdrop.
I forgot about that.
Only the greatest backdrop. Yep. It's the second best one around because obviously mine's the best.
We need to lower it a little bit, I think. It's really big. Well, hey, look, I thought that I ordered an 8x8.
That sucker's an 80x80.
Yeah, at least.
All right. Well, I mean, yeah, we'll adjust it. Next time y'all see it, it'll probably be like...
down a little bit, because when I was looking at it...
Cover up the closet door over there,
yeah.
You know.
We'll make it work. But I don't know, we had to get in that closet today to get the cables.
See, y'all, starting a podcast takes true professionalism. It
does.
You got to know what you're doing here.
Yeah, no doubt.
Anyway, speaking of podcasts, that's why we're here today. I can record an actual podcast, not just tell everybody our troubles and trials getting set up today. Well, it started with the whole getting the new table. So we had to take everything off, everything apart, put the new table, put the new backdrop, and it was all kind of a
mess.
Wonky. It was a mess, yeah. But anyway, here we are. We're recording, and Phil and I were working out the other day, and we were kind of discussing in brief what type of topics that we should discuss. Because I've been on a pretty long job. We haven't had an opportunity to record, very much lately.
Everybody's been getting a pod. Well, everybody, as in like 3 people then probably listening. It's been 2 months.
Yeah, since we recorded.
Yeah, we recorded a bunch before because Darryl had a turnaround, which if you don't know what that means, it's just
don't even look it up.
Yeah.
It was 9 weeks and 2 days long, but here we are. You know what I should have done? I should have kept the mustache. I grew a mustache for 9 weeks. It was pretty slick. Maybe I'll send Lucas a picture to put it up on the, on the screen. But anyhow, we were working out the other day and we were talking about topics, podcast topics, and what people really want to hear from us. And not so much as that. I mean, that's important too. But where can we provide the most value?
Yeah.
And we're a couple of regular guys, right? But there's certain things that we're good at, and basically the conversation led to Phil being a professional personal trainer and gym owner. It's like, man, why don't we do a podcast around how to structure a workout? And I mean, it could be for a beginner, it could be for an experienced lifter. Now, we're not talking about training competitive athletes or anything like that, right. But if you're trying to stay in shape, build muscle, lose fat, your standard,
be healthy for a long time,
generally healthy lifestyle. There's a certain way that Phil and I both have used and still use, and Phil uses for clients. and I would recommend to anybody. So I'll let Phil take the floor here, and we'll just kind of start talking about how you would recommend anybody structure a workout for general health and wellness.
Well, I think that people really overcomplicate the subject, and really
agree.
Probably the issue, similar to the issue with diet, is people find the modality that they like, and then they think that's what should be done. And so my opinion on that personally is that they all work. Whichever one you like is probably going to be the best because you can do it the most consistently over the longest period of time.
Right, you're going to stick to it.
Yeah, but that being said, which one is the best for most people? A combination of all of them, probably. So,
what you've found in your past,
yes,
several years of training.
Yeah, for me and several hundred clients, at this point that that we've worked with, that we've helped, we have a structure that we use in our gym, in our training sessions. Everybody follows a similar structure.
Only the greatest gym.
That's right. And it's basically where you touch on all the core aspects of exercise every time you work out. So the old school, or I shouldn't even say old school, it's still very common and prevalent today, is a periodization. You've heard that term, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, they talk about a lot. Like if you go to like bodybuilding.com and places where they build workouts, they talk about periodizing the workouts. So for 4 weeks, you're going to do rep ranges. You're going to do your bench presses and your rows and your squats or whatever. You're going to go rep range 8 to 12 at X% of your max and all that stuff. And then the following 8 weeks, you're going to go down to 5 to 7 reps. And then you're
increase the weight.
Yeah, exactly.
Create a pyramid.
Yep, and it's over a percentage of your max or whatever. But the reality, and that works, right? Probably it really works. The problem is we're people and we have lives to live. Like one of my clients, for example, this morning, he came in, played in 18 holes of golf yesterday.
Pretty jealous.
Me too.
Might take me like 6 months to get through all 18 of them.
Yeah, yeah. But the thing is, he's not going to come in and hit his 3-rep max on deadlift today.
All right.
After 18 holes of golf.
Yeah, probably not.
It's just not possible. Somebody else, my kid kept me up all night. You really expect them to hit their 5x5 on bench press today when they only slept 3 hours last night?
Yeah.
So that's the main issue, in my opinion, with the setup like that. Now, with that being said, we still want to get good, strong sets of compound exercises.
Absolutely.
In every workout. But after that, you also want to get some isolation stuff, right? You also want to get some core work. And you also want to be functional while you do it. And then you want to do something to challenge your heart rate.
All right.
So a lot of...
Usually a form of cardio.
Yeah, some type of HIIT, most people are familiar with, high intensity interval training, even if it's more of a steady state pace, but something to get your heart rate up at some point during your workout, if not the whole thing.
Yeah.
Shorter duration time frames seem to be better. 40 minutes. 40 minutes is a really good place to be. Yeah. That's what we like.
For your overall workout?
Yeah, for the whole thing.
Yeah. In and out.
Yep, in, work really hard while you're there, get out. Intensity is high. So to get a little more tangible with it, basically you always want to have a good warm-up, right? So whatever you're doing that day, nice little warm-up. And then
about whatever muscle group, right?
Yeah,
get warmed up for, it's nice to get your entire body warmed up.
Yes, exactly.
But you really want to spend a couple minutes on that muscle group that you're going to be training.
Yep.
Okay.
And we like to do... every day is almost a full body situation, but there's just an emphasis on certain body parts. So like we're going to do a full body workout, but we're going to have an emphasis on chest and shoulders because it's a pushing movements. So bench presses, overhead presses are going to be the main foundational compound exercises for the day.
Compound exercise you start with.
Yep. So tomorrow when you work out, that spot is going to be taken by pulling movements. So rows, lat pull downs,
curls, stuff like
upright rows. Yeah. So the structure is the same. You're just replacing the exercises. So the easiest way to think about it, and what I always kind of mention to people, because it's easier to think about than all these fancy words and modalities and stuff, is basically a lot of people, they're really good at cardio, right? They can run a long time. A lot of people are really strong, but if they do more than a set of 10,
people like me,
they're out of breath.
I'm just kidding. I'm not that strong.
The trick is you want to be in the middle.
Right.
90+% of the population wants to be both.
I'm not competitive athletes.
Not competitive athletes.
Brian Shaw.
Nope.
Who I could beat up.
So you want to be
just kidding. I couldn't do that.
You want to be in the middle. Mm-hmm. You know, you want both.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah, you need, especially as you get older, you need to do strength stuff, but you also need to keep your cardiovascular system healthy. And the thing with cardio is nobody wants to go do 30, 45, 60 minutes of cardio by itself. Why not just do it with the workout? And what we recommend is putting it on the end. So I guess from what I said, I don't know if that all makes sense. We're gonna talk more in detail about the exact structure in a second, but just so far, did I miss anything, or what are your thoughts?
No, I agree with you, and I think, we need to go into an actual structure, like how you would structure it. But like, so somebody like me, who's been training for probably longer than most of your clients that come into the gym. I would say a lot of them are in beginning stages, typically. Right. Maybe not always, but typically. But that style is still applicable to how I train now, several years in. Now it may be focused on a certain muscle group, but I'm still following the same structure. I come in, I warm up. I do a full body in some way, but I really take some time on that body part or that muscle group. And then I start off with big compound movements. I throw some supersets in there, which I'm kind of running through this fast, but Phil's going to go into detail in a second. But I start off with I warm up my big compound movements. I throw some supersets in there. I throw some isolation on that particular muscle or muscle group that I'm training in there, and then I will typically throw some cardio on the end. That's my standard. Whether, like right now, I'm doing 20 minutes on the stairs has been my cardio that I throw in on the end. And I'll mix it up. I'm going to get bored with that here in a few weeks, and I'll probably run on the treadmill. Sometimes I'll do the elliptical. It just all depends. But yeah, that structure still works for me several years in. Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't matter if you're just getting started or more advanced. You know, the movements might become more advanced. You know, but the overall structure.
So let's talk a little bit about. Oh, I think you quit recording, Phil.
Yeah, I did. Well,
we're gonna get him back online.
We're back.
Okay. All right. I guess we had a limit on that first one.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened, but anyways, so the actual structure that we're talking about.
Run through what you and I were discussing on the whiteboard yesterday.
Yeah, exactly.
That was really cool. Kind of how you laid it out, and then I enjoyed that. So let's talk about that.
Okay, cool. So this is going to give you. Your workout should last in 40 to 45 minute type of range if you're following the structure. Yeah. So what you're going to do...
So include your warm up and your cardio.
Yes, exactly. So there's 5 parts to the workout. Okay. The first part is your active warm up. So the active warm up / we also use a word called activation, which basically it's getting the muscles that you're going to work activated. So, you know, when you're doing your big movements, they work properly.
Right.
So there's various ways to do it, but basically it's an active warm-up, and you're focused on the body parts that you're about to hit hard at the beginning of the actual workout.
At OTG, y'all typically throw like a full body in that, right?
Yep.
And I'm not saying that's the only thing you do, but y'all will throw that in there.
Yeah, you want something to get the heart rate up a little bit. I like to warm up, break a little sweat, and then I'm hitting my first set. Absolutely. So you spend 5 minutes. We do it as 2 sets, basically. We call it a set is multiple exercises in a row that you do without stopping, and then you do it again. Okay. Right. So it's 2 different sets, it's the same exercises, but you're doing it twice.
Okay.
So, it's kind of hard to do it without writing down or showing someone. You know, I'm so used to showing somebody, so just talking about it. It's kind of hard.
You want my professional notepad over here?
They can't see it on the screen, though.
Oh, well, that's it. This is a college rule, so it's pretty serious.
Okay. But yeah, so you got two warm-up sets, basically. Two things that you're going to do to get your heart rate up, break a little sweat, and get your muscles ready for the big compound heavy stuff that we're about to do.
Yeah.
So 5 minutes there. Then you're going to go into 10 minutes. The first 10 minutes of the actual workout after the warm-up is going to be 3 sets of your major compound movements of the day.
So are you talking like, so say your major compound movements are like regular bench press and overhead shoulder press?
Yep.
So that like this was a push day.
If it was a push day.
Let's use a push day as an example from here on out.
So what we would do is your first set would probably be some type of bench press or push up, depending on your abilities.
Right, and where you're comfortable and what you did last time.
Yep.
A lot of factors come into play.
And we like to superset with a opposing movement. So even though it's a push day, remember that every workout you want to work your whole body, right? So it's a push day. So our first set, we're going to do 3 sets of it, and it's going to be some type of bench press, and maybe the superset is going to be something simple like a rear delt fly or something. So we're pushing as our main stuff, and then the second part of that superset is something reverse.
Something that you're pulling, like a row or a reverse fly or something like that.
But not to the effort level of the first part.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Because you remember, next time we work out, say we're doing a Monday, Wednesday.
Pull.
Exactly. Right? With some push secondary. Okay. So the first set, 3 sets, you're focused on the bench press.
Yeah. So just to lay it out, 1 set is going to be your bench press, and then your rear delt shoulder fly or your row, whatever you pick, right? So those 2 exercises, back to back 3 times.
Yes.
So push pull, push pull, push pull. That's 3 sets.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. And you take a short break after each push and pull. So you push pull, rest, push pull, rest, push pull.
Okay.
And then you're done with that first set. That should take you in the 10 minutes-ish range. And your rep range there, depending on your ability, obviously.
Depending on the weight you're using.
And the weight you're using is somewhere on the low end, like 5, on the high end, like 15-ish, something like that. And that's where you want to be. Now you're 15 minutes in, right? You got a good sweat going. Your heaviest stuff is kind of out of the way. Okay, but now superset number 2, and guys, a superset is just that push-pull thing where you do 2 in a row without stopping, right?
Yeah, back to back.
Exactly. Second set is going to be more compound movements, but these are what we call your secondary compound movements. So on a push day, we're using that as our example right now. It's going to be overhead press, for example. Right. So that's our next major compound movement.
So like a military.
Yep, exactly. You can do it seated, you can do it standing, 1 arm at a time, arms together, barbell, dumbbell, kettlebell. Doesn't matter. Over your head. Exactly. You can throw a squat in there with it, make it more full body. Doesn't matter. The point is that it's our secondary compound movement of the workout. And then that gets supersetted again with something similar to like we did in the first part. You can get creative here. I also like you can do something to challenge your heart rate. You can do some kettlebell swings. What did we do yesterday? You remember we did like single leg box jumps.
Oh God, yeah, we did single leg box jumps. So we were doing like military, like overhead shoulder presses. Right. And then we supersetted it with 1 leg box jumps, like sprinter style. I don't even know what to call it. I couldn't do it very well. I'm not gonna lie.
It
I tried.
It doesn't matter what it is. It's the fact that you're not just sitting there or playing on your phone or whatever. Because remember, we're trying to get the most work
in 45 minutes
in the least amount of time. So we're gonna do something that's effective. That's not going to tax that other workout that we did. That's really important to think about. That's why we like the opposing body part thing.
Well, I think it's the definition of a true superset, right? You have to. I think I say definition, I don't know if there's Webster's dictionary has a definition, but I think the true meaning of a superset is to do opposing movements. So you'll do a push and a pull. Yeah. You'll do something.
Quads, hamstrings.
Yeah, quads and hamstrings.
Bis, tris.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Now I do a lot of supersets where I'll do like a double chest, like I'll do 2 pushes or 2 pulls.
Right, and that's very advanced.
But that's a whole different...
Yeah, you can definitely do that. That would definitely be something more advanced because what that's going to do...
You're further fatiguing.
Yeah, exactly. You're taking away from your major movement, by doing that. And sometimes you're doing that on purpose, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but for our explanation today, we want to make sure we're taking full advantage of that first part, which in this example, exercise number 2, or set number 2, it's the overhead press, right? Between it, kettlebell swings, single arm rows, cable rows, pull downs, single leg drop, box squats.
Something where you're not going to further fatigue your deltoids, your shoulders.
Exactly. Okay. And now we are...
That took you 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
So you're 25 minutes in.
25 minutes in. Third set. Now we're hitting the isolation stuff. So to continue with our push day example, triceps.
Okay. Push downs.
Push downs, skull crushers, dumbbells, barbell, cables. Doesn't matter. If you're advanced, maybe it's a close grip push-up type of situation. Something that isolates the triceps.
Right.
And once again, you can superset that with something we usually like to throw. At this point, we're getting towards the end of the workout. We're throwing maybe something core involved in there, something to start getting that heart rate up. And we got 3 sets there as well. That should take you at max 10 minutes. With the isolation movements, like, you don't need as much rest.
Right.
As the major movements.
As the big compounds, yeah.
Yep, exactly.
You're more fatigued.
Exactly. So we're focused on our isolation stuff here in set number 3. Push day example is going to be the triceps. Pull day example would be biceps. Leg example could be calves.
Right.
Everybody
does a lot of calves.
Got to.
Calves are very
I'm trying to get Richard calves.
I could never get Richard calves. These things right here. Shout out to Rich, man.
I know Rich is listening to this.
Hell yeah, he is.
He's one of those 3 listeners.
He's one of the greatest.
Yeah.
Calves are the greatest. Love you, Rich.
But either way, now we're getting towards the end of the workout, right? We're done with our heavy stuff, getting the isolation stuff focused on. And now we're 35 minutes in, right? Yeah, 35 minutes. And then the last 5 minutes, you're either going to do pure like HIIT, like HIIT, high intensity interval training, or you can do some abs at that point as well. Either one is fine. I
want to talk about HIIT for just a second because it's a big buzzword. Oh, HIIT, high intensity interval training. And basically, to do a true HIIT, all you do is it's exactly what it says it is. You're going to go high intensity, but you're going to go in intervals. And so, like, for an example of this, I think the first time that Phil and I discussed this years back, we were doing an outdoor workout, and we were out at the track, like the football field with the track goes around at 400 meters or whatever it is. And our form of HIIT on those days was we would sprint the straightaways on either side of the football field, and then we would walk the curves. We would walk, and it was like we weren't lollygagging. It was a brisk walk. So during that time, our heart rate would fall, right? And when you hit that other line on the other side of the curve, you sprint all the way down 100 yards or whatever it is, 100 meters. Wait, those are those are close to the same. Those are the same. Well, they're the same. I'm not Australian, but we measure things in American. I don't know how many feet that is, but anyway, so you would sprint the straightaway, and then you would briskly walk the curve, and your heart rate would fall when you went around that curve. And then when you got around to that straightaway on the other side, you sprint again. So it was intervals. It would fall on the curves. Your heart rate would raise on the straightaways. You're just interval. And you can do, there's so many combination. There's so many things. You don't have to be running at all. There's so many ways that you can get your heart rate elevated for an amount of time, and then it comes down for a amount of time. And you get this effect, right? And I believe there's some science behind that shows that your output or your caloric burn is increased. How do you say it? Is a lot more efficient when you're doing that. So you can burn a lot more calories in a shorter amount of time.
Yeah, because
by the rise and fall.
Because you get your heart rate up so high, and then like that, like the afterburn effect, EPOC, excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. That's
yep. I've been studying that for a long time.
That's a thing, and is HIIT better than LISS, low intensity steady state? Probably not, but here's what it does do. Saves us time. Saves us time. That is the critical factor here that I want everyone to take into consideration, because we're all adults. Nobody has time to work out. So if we're going to do it, which you should be, let's get the most bang for our buck in the least amount of time.
Yep.
So everything that we just described is 40 minutes. You have a 5-minute buffer, 45 minutes max. In the door, get to work, 5 minutes warm up,
Get out.
your 3 major sets, 3 sets each, finish up strong, and get out of there. 45 minutes max.
I like that, man. That's a good. That's a
Put a lot of thought into that. That's taken me several years.
I know, and it sounds simple, but it's taken you however many years to get to that point. My workouts are very similar to that, except for legs. I'm in there for 6.5 hours on leg day. I'm just kidding.
Well, every day is arm day, so I don't know.
Right, yeah, but no. So, and I kind of touched on this, before you kind of took the reins, and the structure that I follow is very similar to what you just described, except for I focus it on whatever muscle group. So, if for example, we talked about a push day for you, but you had some contradictory some pulling exercises in there to superset with. Right. So what I'll do is I'll come in, I'll get my warm up in, and I'm kind of guilty of not really doing a full body, but I will absolutely take 5 minutes or more warming up the body part that I'm gonna focus on, which probably isn't ideal. I probably should do my whole body, but I'm just want to be honest with you here. So I'll go in, I'll warm up. Say it's my chest. I'll warm up my rotator cuffs. I'll spend some time getting the blood flowing, and then I'll start off with a big compound movement, and I will superset it. But what I'll do is I'll superset it with another pushing movement, maybe even another chest movement. So say it's flat dumbbell bench. I get my dumbbells and I do my set. I drop them and I immediately get up and I go into a incline push up on the bench, or I go over to the cables and I do a tricep push down, and that'll be one set. Yep. And I usually do 5 of those. Ooh. I'm usually TMJ extended hypertrophy, but no, I usually do. I would say most often 5, sometimes 4. I never do less than 4, just because that's how I feel. That works the best for me. So I'll do my say I'm doing bench press with push-ups. I'll do that for 5 rounds. So bench press, push-ups, bench press, push-ups. I'm resting between, right? And then when I'm done with that, I'll go straight into what you might call the secondary compound movement, and which will be generally a fly. I'll do a chest fly, whether it's on the cables, whether it's on the pec deck, whether it's with dumbbells. I'll do a chest fly. So that's my compound. And then I'll go straight into, I'll superset that, and I'll do like tricep push. Or did I say push-ups last time? Or triceps?
Push-ups.
So I'll do my fly and my tricep push down, right?
Okay.
So that's 2 exercises. So you got a big compound main movement, and you're supersetting it with a more isolated secondary, but also a push movement, which is kind of opposed to what you were saying a second ago. But the whole goal was not to over fatigue that muscle. I think I'm a little bit further along in my.
And it also depends on your workout frequency, right?
Yeah.
Most of the average people are working out like 3 days a week.
Yeah,
which is a good place to be.
And then I'll go into I'll go do like a. So from there, I did my flies and my tricep push downs, and then I'll go into a third isolation exercise for whatever muscle group. So it's chest. Maybe I'll go do. I'll throw another compound in there is what I'll do. But the fact of the matter is, I'm doing another chest exercise, and I'm throwing in like a secondary. I'm throwing a secondary in there again. And then,
so you like to do some extra triceps.
I'm on my third set. Yeah, I'll do some extra triceps.
Yeah.
And then, I'll usually do anywhere from 5 to 6 exercises. And then I'll get on the stairs, and I'll do 20 minutes on the stairs level. Usually like 7 or 8 is my sweet spot. I can kind of watch a YouTube video or something and not bust my ass on the stairs. So really the structure is very similar. I'm just, over fatiguing.
Yeah, you're just doing a little bit more work on the particular muscle group.
This is applicable for me on a back day, on a shoulder day, and I'll structure them all very, very similar. So the point of me going into that is that even after several years of lifting, you can still use the same, it's not like a beginner format.
No, not at all.
It's a very user friendly, and you can
I feel like user friendly is a good word.
Yeah. It's very user friendly no matter where you're at, whether you're beginner or whether you're experienced.
Because just remember, simplicity will always win.
It's very simple. It's a very simple layout. And, the work gets done. I mean, I follow some, and this is kind of beside the point, but I follow, like on social media, I follow some certain bodybuilders that I enjoy their content. And a lot of them you'll see follow a structure fairly similar to that. Now they may be doing some more advanced exercises. Of course, they're not using as much weight as me because I'm really super strong.
But I mean, everybody already knew that.
Yeah. Well, everybody knows that. But no, like on a serious note, they're following a lot of time something very similar to that.
And they're
layout.
just doing a lot more volume.
They'll be doing a lot more volume.
Total, yeah.
What you will notice, like I said a minute ago, is you'll notice the a lot more. The style of exercises, they're a lot more advanced type of exercises that maybe you don't want to do in the beginning stages. But I mean, the structure and if you write it all down, what they're doing, it's a lot of time it's very similar to that.
Right.
So yeah, man, I think that's a good structure for anybody anywhere. I think we kind of hit our mark on that one. User friendly.
Yeah, user friendly is great. I never thought about it that way, but that's what you want.
Yeah,
because let's just be totally honest. Not many people enjoy putting a lot of thought into their workout program.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to think about it.
Yeah, even me, and you, we're both several years in. I know, the only thing that I know, I may know what muscle group I'm wanting to hit that day, perhaps, but that's about it. The only thing I know is that I'm going to train that day. When I wake up in the morning and say I'm getting ready for work, I know I don't think about what exercises or what weights or what rep ranges I'm going to use.
Me neither.
I just know, hey, I'm going to train today and I'm probably going to hit chest. Or I'm probably going to hit back. Or I'm probably going to hit legs. And that's it. And when I walk into the gym, back to the basics every time. And I go, okay, I need to get warmed up. Big compound movement. I want to superset it to really push the blood in there. I want to make sure that I'm not resting too long. I want to make sure that I'm resting enough.
Yeah.
And in between sets. And that's really about it, man.
I know, like for me, if
the longevity's there.
For yesterday, for example, I didn't feel like working out. I didn't want to. The past month or so has been really difficult with a lot of new things going on. I didn't feel like working out at all. I almost didn't. But I looked at the schedule. I was at the gym, working or whatever. I looked at the schedule and I saw an open spot in our, what we call our semi-private training. Like, it's 3 people at a time. This particular time slot only had 2. So I was like, hey, Bobby, I'm going to take that 3rd spot. So I hop in there. The workout was structured very much like we just talked about. Whew, man, I haven't worked so hard in a long time.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. So, yeah, you don't always have to put a lot of thought into it. Follow something simple, get in there, get it done.
And I think it's a lot of, like many things in the fitness industry. It's pretty overcomplicated. They do it. I say I'm talking about the industry or anybody who's trying to be in shape or fit or improve their lifestyle. I think it has to be really complicated because, they see the highlight reels on Instagram and stuff like that. This will get the job done.
Yeah.
It gets the job done every time. And you'll never, like I said, the user friendly, you never outgrow it. I mean, if it gets to the point where it's too easy, you can increase your weight, you can increase your rep ranges, and your structure can still be the same.
Yeah.
Yep. You can increase your frequency, you can decrease your rest periods, whatever you need to do to make it challenging. But in the background, all these same moving parts, man.
Yep.
All the same user-friendly structure. So,
yeah, I don't think anything beyond that is just overcomplicating it. So,
yeah. So guys, don't overcomplicate it, man.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple, and you can follow this format for as long as you want to train. I still follow it for the most part. I have one-offs here and there where I try some different stuff, but for the most part, day in and day out, that's what I'm doing. That's what Phil's doing. That's what Phil's teaching his clients. Especially the beginners, right? You get that foundation.
That's super important.
Of simplicity, user friendliness, and yeah, stick with it. That's it. Consistency is the only thing that's consistency is the only way you're gonna actually see results. But you don't have to overcomplicate your plan. If you consistently do this, you're gonna see results.
That's it.
All right, guys. Phil's got some clients to train. You could be one of them.